Welcome back to America Decides. Ron Rowe, the acting director of the U.S. Secret Service, today praised the agency for its, quote, exemplary response.
They are rising to this moment, and I could not be more proud of them and the way they have executed, not only yesterday, but what they're doing today and what they are doing tomorrow and what they will always do because it is their duty. Thank you.
Former Secret Service Deputy Director A.T. Smith joins us now. A.T., always good to see you. Ron Rowe said right now the Secret Service faces, quote, an unprecedented and hyper-dynamic threat environment. What does that mean?
I think it means the result of all that we're seeing. And we saw this early in this campaign cycle, all of the rhetoric, all of the hatred, all of this sort of online social media things that have been out there that honestly we have not seen to this degree in previous campaign cycles. So I think that is what he's talking about. And of course, there's a lot of things that he didn't say today, the online threats that they get from all different sorts of areas, if you will, and the investigations that the Secret Service has to do into those threats and those individuals. Those are the things that really never make the headlines. And I think he was speaking to that, just the sheer volume of what not only the service is having to deal with as an agency, but obviously the incident in Butler, which had a lot of negative repercussions for the Secret Service. So they're having to deal with a lot. And I think he was making the point that yesterday, you know, here we are with a second event like this, that they acted in the way that they are trained to react. And ultimately, obviously, there was no harm to the former president, and they were able to arrest this individual that was there and possibly planning this assassination attempt.
A.T., as you know, I've covered several presidents, which means I've traveled. I've gotten to know and have conversations, not the way you do and have, with Secret Service agents. And one of the conversations is this environment rhetorically creates an atmosphere. And for some individuals, that atmosphere reinforces something that they might do, might push them, provoke them in a direction they might not otherwise go, which is something the Secret Service always has on its mind. And it was never part of a conversation I ever had because I never experienced it, but we've now had two incidents. Do incidents themselves also create a kind of reality that makes this threat matrix more dangerous?
Absolutely. And that was one of the things that I touched on yesterday in another interview. You definitely are going to have a problem with copycats, and that could be the case here. You know, this individual could have thought in his mind that he was going to finish the job that the individual in Butler was not able to. So that sort of thing, along with some of the social media things that are out there that we're talking about, just it sort of ingrains in these folks a need for them to react, particularly, you know, if there is a mental health situation here that, you know, needs to be evaluated and needs to be looked at. So yes, I think one incident may actually fuel another, and it's sort of the piling on, if you will. One individual tries something, the other one says, well, I can do better, or I can actually make this thing work and pull it off. So I think absolutely, to your point, yes, that does create more problems.
A.T., the acting director of the Secret Service, said his personnel are redlining. It is among the most stressful occupations on the face of the earth. Redlining sounds worrisome.
It does. And, you know, unfortunately, the Secret Service now has to deal with attrition like any other local or state law enforcement agency does. You know, in my time, I'm like you, I've been around a lot of campaigns, saw a lot of things. You know, in the era that I came on, folks didn't leave the Secret Service. They stayed for 25 or 30 years. I was there for 29 years. Now, I think a lot of it is generational. Folks just do not want to stay that long in one place, and so they come in for maybe the glitter and the excitement of it for a little while, and once that wears off, you know, they move on. So unfortunately, I have heard, and this is something they need to deal with, you know, they are bringing agents to the protective details, the permanent details, sometimes quicker than they did in the past. And so the dual mission of the Secret Service makes a well-rounded agent. You know, they're out there on the street doing investigations, whether it's cyber or credit cards or counterfeit, to sort of learn the dynamics. And all the time that they're doing that, they are supporting protective visits all around the world. And so they get exposed to a lot. And then when they come to that permanent protective detail, whether it's the president, the vice president, former presidents, they're a lot more seasoned. And this is not a negative toward the individuals. They're all doing the very best they can. And as we saw yesterday on the golf course, which is a very, very hard thing to secure, they acted in exactly the way that they are trained to. That advance agent that was out front was alert, he was observant, he saw what he saw, and he engaged it. And I would commend him on the level of not hesitating at all. You saw what he did. He got several shots off and the other guy ran. So, in that vein, absolutely, that was a positive for the Secret Service.
A.T. Smith, as always, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you, Major.